Hey, good morning. It's Friday. It's Well Read Beard. Let's talk about a book. We're here for a book review, and today we are talking about The Razorblades in My Head. Look at that cover by Donnie Goodman. This is Donnie Goodman's first collection. I believe that it might be his first publication. I don't know. I probably should have checked. But I mean, he may have been published in like an anthology or something. But first solo publication, I am fairly certain, and damn, it's good. Really good. I'm giving this one 4 stars. And if you know me for a collection where, again, in a collection, you are not going to love every story. 4 stars is a very high rating, especially for a debut. And in one of these stories, I did the shorts on shorts for all of them. There are 12 stories in the book, so check those out because I'm not going to talk about every story here. But there's 12 shorts on shorts about every story in here. And in the third story, whatever. The third story in this book, I talked about how Donnie has it. I read a lot of first time books by a lot of first time writers, and look, let's be honest, they are not all great. And this one, that's not the case. It's great. It's really, really damn good. Like really, really surprisingly good. And so there you go. You're going to want to check this one out. So, again, 12 stories. There's a nice mix of when I say longer, I mean like 20 pages, but like longer ish 15 to 20 page meatier stories where we've, a little bit more character development, a little bit more, I guess, meat to the story. And then there's some shorter, like 8, 9 page ones that are a little bit more to the point and just smash you in the mouth with the horror aspects of it. And then there's some flash stuff in here, like 2 to 3 page pieces that are just brief snippets of possibly a larger story. And so the formatting, there's a wide variation. The themes, there's a wide variation, and I just absolutely enjoyed it. Now, I've picked my top 4 stories here, and we'll talk about those quickly. Though there's some other stuff here. There's like evil demented snowmen. There's a piece of Thanksgiving horror. You don't really get a lot of that. You get a lot of Halloween horror, a lot of Christmas horror. I mean, maybe even some Valentine's Day love based horror. But there's a piece of Thanksgiving horror. You don't get that a lot. And that's it. There's a little cool little bit, and the reason I'm doing this is because like the very very short ones did not make my top 4, but there's a couple here that merit mention. Third grade, kind of written from the point of a third grader, just kind of like this rambling narrative that spends 3 pages getting to the oh shit moment. And again, it's like 3 pages. And Toasted, another one that was just wicked cool, very very cool short flash fiction piece. Okay, so my favorite stories in this book though are number one. Actually, why would I start with number one? That would be stupid. That's not what we do here, Beard. We start with number four. Number four, the Obey King. Now, the Obey King is the first thing I ever saw where I was like, oh shit, Donnie writes too. I kind of thought Donnie was just like me, like a book lover. He's big into the paperbacks from hell. He's got a wicked cool collection. But then I was like, oh, hell, he wrote something. And I remember when that came out, there was some buzz around it. He's a respected member of the community, but there was some buzz around that. I remember, it was like a Kindle only thing to start with. And the cover art for that Kindle piece was really, really cool. Old Bay King had this seafaring, old sailor vibe to it, sea monster possibly. I didn't read it then, but I've read it now, and it just had a lot of buzz. And so when I got this book, it felt like it's the last story in the book, but it felt like a central piece that this book was built around. It was my fourth favorite story in the book. Story number 3 is Teddy, and I remember, and again, you got to go back and watch these shorts on shorts, but Teddy. I remember saying that this story had wonderful setup, like the setup of the idea of a guy that works at a crematorium, and during the day, sorry, I've got a little sniffles. During the day, he cremates people, but at night, there's this whole idea that they're cremating these magical, mystical, powerful things, these objects, and I really enjoyed that piece of the story. Now, ultimately, it kind of goes like a route of like an Annabelle type thing a little bit. I didn't dig the second half as much as the first part, but the first part was so damn good that it is my third favorite story. My second favorite story is the Razorblades in my head. It's the first story in the book. It's the title track. It takes a deep look at bullying. Kind of starts with this bizarro feel, but winds up into this wicked, extreme horror type of ending. A bit of vengeance. I really loved that story, and that story for me was the oh shit moment. Again, I read a lot of first time authors, and that story made me wake up and pay attention. And then the third story that I talked about, I think already, about saying that Donnie has it, is called Stargazing. It's one of the finest examples of dream sequence, of writing in dream sequence that I've come across. It's an apocalyptic story, and in this one there is a bit where our main character has woken up after like missing all these alerts about this apocalyptic type scenario. You know, things hitting her phone, hitting her, and she wakes up and the power's out, and she's got a flashlight, and she goes into the kitchen, and there's this just a horror movie, like classic horror movie scene where you everything's dark, and she clicks the flashlight and illuminates this figure in the corner, and you're like, I don't know, man, it's hard to write that type of feeling, right? But you're like, shh. Well, it's her neighbor, but first she didn't know who it was, but it's her neighbor. He's from down the road. She used to babysit his kids, man, and he's like, they're gone, they're all gone, the kids, the wife, they're gone, and he takes a gun and bam, and it talks about the fragments from his skull being embedded in her cheeks. I'm not going to go much further, but just a hell of a debut of a story. I mean, I don't know where it fell in these 12 stories, but I mean, it is a hell of a story for a debut short story collection. So, but again, I kind of repeated some shit that I said there in my shorts on shorts, so you got to watch them. We'll create a playlist. We'll put the 12 shorts on shorts with the review at the end, and check it out. It's definitely worth your time. I mean, I know that I read a lot of people in the indie book world that I really enjoy their writing, and I really look forward to them writing something else. So, I mean, I say that a lot, and I generally do mean it, but in this case, I really mean it. I cannot wait for whatever Mr. Goodman has next. This was a wonderful collection, a wonderful debut collection. The Razorblades in my head, 4 stars. This has been Well Read Beard. This has been Shorts on Shorts. I hope you're enjoying all your books as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn, happy Friday, the wrong damn books.